Hello, Gemini. Happy birthday season. It's the new moon today in your sign. How are you feeling? I'm on vacation. I've traveled to Florida to visit my friend Cassie and her mother. You know, they've experienced some very pivotal changes together, in their lives this year. So it's interesting being down here and visiting, and kind of fun and very warm and very heartfelt. And her brother's actually a Gemini. He's married to a Libra who was born just after the cusp. My friend Cassie is a Virgo. She's a Scorpio moon, but she also has Libra rising. And she's born 2 weeks before me, So there are a lot of planets that we have that are similar. Ace of Vessels, One of Vessels. So this is being aware of your feelings, being aware of your intuition, being able to receive your emotional awareness. It's almost like you are definitely identifying with a certain feeling, and you want to see where this goes. This could be a new feeling, it could be a fresh feeling, it could be something, it could be a new idea that came from a feeling that you had, which was involved with intuition. This could also be you just kind of like understanding your feelings a little bit more and providing for yourself emotionally. You're doing what it takes that you can recognize you need. What are your needs? Your focus on your self needs, your individual needs as well. I think that that's something that we all should be really more aware of, and we got to be very diligent in providing those things for ourselves that we know other people can't provide, that we know that we need, even if it's things that we want. You know what I mean? Because there's some desire with this. This could be Pisces energy, it could be Cancer energy, or it could be Scorpio energy. You know what I mean? And it's definitely new energy involved around emotion. So this is the new moon in Gemini. This is a perfect card to, make a statement at the beginning of your reading. What are you understanding now that you might have some emotional clarity about? You might have some new feelings towards someone. That could be a possibility. Or you could just be re-identifying with the first love, or a principal love, a fundamental love, a love that is very basic, that type of thing. The basic love for oneself is the greatest love of all, right? And being that it's, number 13 is the death card, so that's definitely new. You guys have released some things, you've given up on some things that you felt like, you had maybe attached yourself to for a long time out of a need to control it. Or you may have been in, you may have been affected, your emotions were affected by a death or a releasing of some sort, some things that had to do with, like fear, lack. Fear is really based on lack, a lack of something, a lack of courage, a lack of strength, a lack of belief as well. The 1 and the 3 is a 4, so there's some new understanding of structure and stability that's going to come out of this new awareness of your own emotions, and like how you are reaffirming yourself, or how you are reasserting your, how you acknowledge your own emotions and your own feelings. You know what I mean? This could be you communicating your feelings in a way to kind of like bring closure to a situation, right? Or you might just be making peace emotionally with something that involves, you stepping up to the plate and being a leader in your own life, right? Because we got the Ace of Vessels, the One of Vessels, which, that's an ace, so it is related to, the Magician, right? Being aware of how you can use your, emotions and your subconscious, and you can tap into those, as above so below. You can connect with your feelings to give yourself those answers that you seek. Like, use your emotions as feelings, use your intuition, or use your emotions as tools, use your intuition as a tool. You know what I mean? And it also is a gift of love, the Ace of Cups. So you might just be being very appreciative of the way something is making you feel. That was a bold statement that was given to you, right, that you received graciously with a gracious heart. I'm getting gracious heart as well. And you're also understanding that there is something that you have to believe in order to like continue, right? You have to believe in yourself, you have to believe in life, you have to believe in love, you have to believe in death, you have to believe in all of that stuff. Making peace with the situation that you feel like you couldn't control, or making peace with the situation that, was meant for you to learn from, meant for you to acknowledge your weakness so that you can then re-experience your power. And then it's kind of like you're showing yourself what you're made of spiritually, how much your soul can take. You know what I mean? Because this is weight. This is ruled by Pluto right here. Right now, Jupiter is opposing that new moon in Gemini, right? Last night, we could see Jupiter so bright. We could see Saturn, you know, and it was so wonderful. I love that. We were connecting to spirit, which is, you know, that's your energy as well, Gemini. You know, you connect to spirit in a very constantly, you know, because you're making things happen, and you have a constant and steady belief that anything is possible. You know what I mean? Even through all of the hardship, even through, like, you know, deaths and things that kind of like leave your life, or changes that happen that are very heavy. You got to lift that weight. You got to lift that veil. It's like the cloak, right? And then you will see how you can renew your spirit graciously. This is like gracefully accepting something that you have no control over. Okay, I haven't even really gotten that far. This is crazy. Let me do it a couple more times. Hey, owl. Even bumped into me. This is an owl right here, y'all. Look. Yeah, I'm out in the garden. Buddha is actually holding up the phone right now so I can do this reading. I got my stones over there in the grass, soaking up the sun by a tree. She's got so many fruit trees over here. My body definitely needs a release of, like, old energy, you know. That old fear, that old sadness, that old resentment, that old pain, you know, it's stuck in my body right now. And I know I need to have it released by getting some body work done. You know, and it's just a matter of time before I do that. Let me shuffle your cards one more time. Happy birthday to all the Geminis out there. And happy Gemini new moon out there to everybody. Oh my goodness gracious. 3 cards. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Go. Alright, let me do it one more time. Okay, so I feel like we're going to go ahead and leave it there and cut the deck for you, because whatever message comes out is going to be the message, and it's going to be whatever Spirit wants it to be. I've already given you something. This chair is pressing against my calf, not the main one, but, like, you know, tibialis. Okay, so I got a past, present, and future here with an immediate influence or challenge. You know, I'm doing an ascendant spread, but I've got it laid out smaller so my cards don't get blown away from me. So the challenge I actually just put down, and I actually usually put the challenge down last, but Spirit has had me put the challenge right there before I got to the last row, because I wasn't sure if I was going to give you the anxieties, Mars and Venus. But I'm going to give it to you because it's your birthday season. And I'm using the Native American Tarot deck by... It's the Native American Tarot deck. That's all you need to know. Okay, so... at the bottom of the deck, you got the Stars card, you know, and that is kind of like you being aware of how in control you are of your life, and understanding that you yourself have to maintain a certain level of confidence for you to just even, like, continue seeking, you know, opportunities to be in your power, right, and to stand tall and, you know, just transform through all of the different obstacles that life may have to give you and, you know, put at your feet. You know, it's talking about beginning to understand that you're going to have to believe in yourself. You're going to have to believe that you have the power, like I said before, and you have the authority to make things happen for yourself spiritually. Being aware of that, being aware of what it takes to move forward in life when you feel like you're being challenged, when you feel like you're facing conflicts with advantages. You know what I mean? The thing is that when you tap into your spirituality and you meditate, you can always pull something positive out of that, right? And you're really good for that. This is the Aquarius card, and Mercury, your planetary ruler, is exalted in Mercury. You know what I mean? It's a spider. So this is saying, you know, getting things done, understanding that you are connected to everything around you and everyone, and you have to get back to that place you know, you might just have to like recharge your batteries. I feel like recharging your batteries is very important. Going back to a place where you feel comfortable, right? Keeping yourself busy in a way that's going to be very productive for you. Um, you know, really being able to allow yourself to, know and begin to see where you can move forward in life. You know, like what it is that you have to offer yourself, right? I feel like that's very important. Okay, so now I'm gonna flip over the other card here for you. I think Cassie's mom just got home. You got the Shaman, which is the Hierophant. So this is talking about work. It's talking about belief systems. It's talking about commitment. What commitments are you willing to make to something? What are, how proud you might be. You know what I mean? Show your pride. Show your commitment to something. And also understand that, you are also a student in life. You know what I mean? You're also someone that can learn something from other people, even people that are younger than you. You know what I mean? That type of thing. The fives are related to the fifth house, which is Leo, which is talking about, matters of, the heart and feeling very confident about something that you believe in and really standing tall and really standing firm in your beliefs. It's also talking about family and how committed you might be to family. What are you willing to do to work on the institution of family and continue to build on that so that that lineage becomes even stronger with time? Also, children are involved here, and just very like spiritually, like the not genealogy, but like the heritage. You know what I mean? Being proud of your heritage and where you come from, and being proud of your heritage is also being proud of yourself, right? That's why the fifth house is ruled by Leo and the sun. So it's like by you being proud of yourself, you're being proud of your heritage because that's where you come from. So you're committed to that institution of self, which is committed to your family, which is committing to your purpose, right? And I feel like all of you are definitely reaffirming, reasserting, re-understanding. You're being divinely, nudged, inspired. You're tapping into a very hearty part of your spirituality. It's very divinely tapped in, but then it's very like earthy in a sense because this is shaman energy. Okay, let me show you the card. It's the Hierophant. I showed you the star card, right? So this is youth. This is elders, all of it, community as well. Boundaries, creating healthy boundaries for yourself. You may have had to do that in the past, in the recent past. I don't have that card pulled up yet, but I'm gonna open up I'm gonna flip over the energy of your challenge, your immediate influence, which is the Fool. So the challenge is is taking risks. You were challenged before to take risks. You know what I mean? You had to really experience a level of shakeups in your life. Maybe it had to do with something beginning or seeing the possibilities in something that you may have wanted, or seeing the opportunity in something. Maybe something that you wanted to change was almost kind of like crazy and people were like, there's no way you're going to be able to do that. And you were just like, okay, I'm going to really just kind of like, give it all my hope and all my faith and really just go in being very optimistic about whatever it is, the opportunity, because there's so much opportunity, there's so much room for growth here too with this. So you're taking this risk because this is a way for you to have, you're stepping into the room, right, of growth. And people are like, don't go in that room. And you're like, I'm going in there because there's so much more space in there. Like, I've been out here with you guys and it's been kind of like stuffy. And like, I need to go out and get some fresh air. I need to feel new again. I need to feel reset, reinitiated. I need to feel charging the batteries, like I said before, with the stars card. Hi, I'm talking to Cassie's mom. She's out here. I'm recording. It's okay. So, yes, I'm doing Gemini right now. Okay. So yeah, that's your challenge. Your challenge is, feeling comfortable taking risks and stepping outside of your comfort zone and understanding, like what family means and committing yourself to family and, just new opportunities for growth for sure. And you feel challenged by that because it feels risky. It might be making you feel uncomfortable. You're trying to achieve balance within the shakeup. Because 0, you know, the Fool, that's esoterically Uranus rules Libra, right? Because when you want that scale to be recalibrated to 0, you know, so then there are no surprises there. You feel a sense of calm. It's that thing. And it's also taking a risk too. Before you step on that scale, you know, you're taking a risk because it's going to show you some things that you probably didn't know. So I feel like you are challenged by knowing that you're going to have to step outside of your comfort zone and outside of the gate that you probably like closed and locked for yourself and never thought that you were going to have to come out. But it's like it's challenging you to do that. Okay, so in your past, you have the World, so there were some completions, there were some endings in the past. You know, you might have been feeling like this was like tied to some kind of like karma, and you know, you have the card of family here, an institution, right? Which is the Shaman card. That's the Hierophant. That's like anything that has to do with like priests, or like anything that has to do with like religion. And then, you know, in the past here you have Saturn, which is Capricorn, and Saturn is talking about, you know, real things, life lessons, learning karmic lessons in your life. It's also talking about, you know, a phase ending or a cycle ending and you learning from that cycle. And it's almost kind of like when you learn from your karma rewards you by, you know, it's like in ways that you never thought possible. And it's interesting that I'm saying that because it's like in the major arcana, and you've only gotten major arcana cards here, so spirit is very like rich and very present in your reading. You don't have any minor cards, and I've only flipped over 4 cards. Everything is major at this point. And right now you have 0 and you have 21, and there are only 21 major arcana cards, and 0 being the 22nd. So you have the beginning and the end of something, right? Something ended in the past so that you could experience a new beginning here that you could recommit yourself to. And it has to do with an understanding of like where you come from, like you're re-identifying with like, you know, yourself on a spiritual level, because you have 17, which is the star card, that's Aquarius. And it's also, you know, Uranus rules Aquarius as well. So you have Uranus here crossing you as the Fool, right? And you are the shaman, you are the institution, you are sort of like the rock, you are the ground, and you're the pillar, right? That's who you are right now. And you're challenged by the risk and the opportunity, right? But in the past, it says that you actually finished a phase. There was a phase, a cycle that completed for you, and it had to do with karma. And you have the card of family here, right? Family karma. You have Saturn, which is the teacher of life, you know. And also Saturn opens up the gates so that, you know, one can pass on if they need to. Like, you can't get by, you can't get any further past, you know, into, you know, outer space. Think of it esoterically, like Saturn is the gatekeeper. It says whether you can go or you can't, you have finished or you have not, because it's talking about process. And think about it, like Saturn is like the professor, the teacher, and it's like you don't get to graduate unless you've passed those tests and those courses. You don't get to be ushered into that new cycle or that new phase unless you've passed these karmic tests. And the karmic tests might be things that you don't even know that you've already been being tested on. So when the time comes, you just feel the weight, or you feel the weight being lifted, right? You definitely feel the weight of the karma, because it's like it's showing you all the work that you've done, but then it's showing you now that you've done all of that work, you have all of these new possibilities, you know, all of your wishes. Now you get to sort of like, you know, cast your net, right? You get to like create your network of, you know, life, of patterns in your life, you know what I mean? Because it's sprawled out, you know. It starts from one place, but then it branches out. You know, it's understanding that you're connected to everything and you can like do anything you want. It definitely talks about the awareness of your confidence and your confident levels, and it talks about, you know, being aware of your relationships and what you would like out of your relationships, what you would like to see happen, how you would like to see other people grow that you have relationships with, that type of thing, and you yourself and how you are growing, right? You have all of that here. And then let's look at your sun position. In the sun position, you have the Pisces card, which is the High Priestess, but in this Native American deck, it's called the Corn Maiden. So this is someone who knows things just based off of like how sensitive they might be to their own feelings and their own intuition. And you know, the Ace of Cups, the Ace of Vessels kind of fell out at the beginning of the deck with the Death card, so it's talking about you being aware of a feeling And completion, you know, the death card represents completion. The world is talking about completion as well here. Um, oh, I flipped over another card and I didn't realize that I did. Oh, actually I had two cards in the past. Wow, that's amazing. Okay, so I have to read that now. It revealed, that's so weird. So in the past there was, here we go. This is Mercury and Sagittarius, and Mercury rules you as a Gemini, okay? And Sagittarius opposes you. So for you, this could have been like something that did feel risky, or news coming in quickly in the past of something ending or a completion of something, or maybe you felt like work. Maybe it involved work, because Capricorn and Saturn is talking about getting the work done. You know, that's why Saturn rewards you when you know, pay that karma back. Or it could actually do with work. There were some messages that came in about work, and it was an opportunity for you to be in a more powerful position, possibly. You know, it was going to bring you more stability, right, in more ways, you know what I mean? And then the 8 also talks about the 8th house, and that talks about being in control of something, and understanding that, you know, you share certain resources with people. um, and this being Mercury and Sagittarius, this might have been something that kind of like moved forward quickly. It's almost like news travels fast, right? About something, about someone getting something, or about something happening that was a completion of sorts. And it's kind of like looking behind you because you move forward very quickly. So this ending actually caused you to move forward very quickly, right? And that was what the shakeup was. It was kind of like that was the risk, that was the feeling of being thrusted out into like this new abyss, right? You going into this room that people always told you not to go in, but it's like you're like, I have to go in this room now because it's crowded out here and there's so much going on. So I have to experience this new reality because the reality that I've already been in is full. Like that part of me is full, and that's why you have the World card here in the past, because that's the completion of something. It's the build up, and it's kind of like drawing a line, right? You're making a clear understanding, drawing the line too, 1 and 2, 21, and making an understanding. The one awareness of something. So you're drawing a line, you know, to become more aware of something, okay? Or you're aware of something, and so it caused you to draw a line. Or the line was already drawn, so it made you aware of something, and that probably is what the completion came from. And it's a journey. It's something that you've been going through over time, because the world is Capricorn, that is Saturn, and Saturn is, you know, the keeper of time, father time, and Saturn is that father energy, just like the moon, which, you know, the moon rules Cancer, and Saturn rules Capricorn, and Saturn is the father, and the moon is the mother. So this has to do with something, you know, father-wise, that type of thing. Patriarch, very earthly energy, like I said, like, you know, very like column, pillar, rock, that type of thing. And this is actually, if you look at this card, this is someone going on a journey, right? And they're covered in all of these like grapes and, you know, leaves, and there's stars around them, and they're over like what seems to be like rolling hills and land, but it also looks like water. And there's a tree that's growing on the turtle that they're on. It's funny, I was talking to my friend about turtles. Yeah, for sure. And you know, it talks about something that happened over time that was slow. There's growth here, so it's like definitely, you know, growth that is substantial, growth that is of value to you, growth that, you know, is really allowing you to see something. I'm gonna have to turn this off because it's giving me low battery. Hold on 1 second. Let me turn it off. Then I'm just gonna be talking to you like this. Okay. Hold on 1 second. Let me disconnect it. Anyways, good. I'm just gonna leave it. Okay, so yeah, that's what you were dealing with. And now in the sun position, you have the corn maiden, which is 2, right? Gemini, that symbol of like 2, 1, and 2. It's a 2. It's not Roman numeral, but if you think in Roman numeral terms, the number Roman numeral 2 looks like the Gemini symbol, right? That little hieroglyph, that little glyph. So the corn maiden is talking about, you know, being very tapped into, you know, another realm, another spiritual place, kind of like just allowing many different things to speak to you, nature, you know what I mean, listening to your dreams. It's kind of like you're not letting something that's outside and external source influence, what you have going on inside that you know you can always revisit, you can rely on that, you know, you can find comfort in like your spirituality as well. And just like, you know, having a compassionate feeling towards yourself, right? Understanding that you're gonna have to show yourself love in different kinds of ways. You know what I mean? When people get confused about how to love yourself, it's like, do those things that make you happy. You know what I mean? Being able to like flow with your emotions as well. I feel like you're understanding that a little bit more. You're taking a little bit more control over your emotions, and you know, you definitely are tapped into an understanding. You're drawing lots of lines for yourself, and you're creating like this like etching, right? I'm seeing like you etching things out for yourself slowly over time to bring an acute, you know, bring an understanding of what's happening here. You know what I mean? And it's very like as above, so below. You know what I mean? You're really allowing yourself to be tapped into the energy of your season, because you know how important it is right now to like really be aware of your soul experience, okay? Because that too, the high priestess is definitely being aware of your soul experience and your soul's experience. You know what I'm saying? I'm just making sure that this mic is turned off because I don't like it when it like is still connected to the phone. So that's something as well. Family is important to you. You know, this is Neptune as well, and Neptune is, you know, you might be confusing things. You might still be emotionally confused about some stuff, and you are aware that you're confused, right? But you're still allowing yourself to like just be confused about some shit that you don't know the answers to. You know what I mean? But you do know that there's been a shift. You do know that something has changed. You do know that you want to react to this change, and you have to. You're called to action. This is a call to action as well. You know, most of the cards that you have had now, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 major arcana cards, Gemini. Okay? So now let me go on and continue. You may feel like you sacrificed a relationship and you are aware of a sacrifice that you had to make. You had to draw a line in terms of relationship. Or you may have had to sacrifice a relationship with someone, you know, that might be in another realm right now. You know, they might have passed on. Or you feel like they're in their own reality. Or you may feel like there are some things or some secrets about somebody that you had to let go of, that you ended things with, that you may not have clarity on, right? Or you may not have some emotional clarity on the way you feel about some things, right? You still have some questions, right? Because Pisces does have a lot of questions, you know what I mean, about like what it is that they're having in this experience about, because things are very, very dreamy, and things can be very lucid, and things can be very like, you know, hard to understand sometimes. And I feel like you understand that things are hard to understand, and you're going to let that come to you when the time is right, because the Corn Maiden definitely does that. You know, continuing on to do the work, but still staying connected to being able to receive those answers that come in when you need to, you know, have them, when you need to feel them, when you need to, you know. Let me wipe this down. I'm sorry. I don't want to be like blurry. Is that better? Okay, so that's what you're aware of right now. That too is kind of like you're getting a little bit further in your soul's experience too, right? Because that too is like, ooh, I made a little bit of a progression forward. That, you know, something else is happening that's allowing you to see where you can possibly go from here emotionally. Or, you know, in terms of like, you might even be thinking about that. You might be thinking about the will, you know, something, the parents, right? It might be your dad. You might be thinking about your dad's will. You know, because it is the shaman, that is the Hierophant, and then you do have Mercury and Sagittarius, that's information, right? And that's stuff going in, stuff going forward. And you know, when I say will, look at this gentleman and how he's looking back on his life's experience, right? And he's going forward. Okay? Because the 8s are related to Scorpio energy, and it's related to that transitioning, right, and that transformative energy. And you yourself are transforming from this. You know, some of you, it's not everybody, because that's a very specific message, right? But then here he is also, this is him leaving life behind, right? For some of you, this is you leaving a way behind because of an opportunity that came in, or because of something that just suddenly happened that moved you forward into this reality that you were like, whoa, I didn't think I was willing to face this reality, and now, you know what I mean? And then this is them going forward and just leaving this behind due to there's nothing there for me, right? It's dry. And now I'm turning around, and then I'm here in this place. Do 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 do. Right? That's beautiful. That's amazing. That's you guys. You going to a place of abundance, you know. You going, or somebody going into a place of abundance. A euphoric experience of completion, you know, on this Gemini new moon, honey. Happy birthday season, y'all. We ain't done. We still going. So let's look at your moon position, since this is a Gemini new moon, and you did get a 2 card in the sun position, which the moon is in position with the sun right now, and Pisces energy is ruled by the moon, that's for sure, and it's in the sun position. So hello, new moon energy, new moon Gemini. 5, cultivation. Okay, so this is, you know, feeling a little bit of sorrow over some things that you feel like are, you know, you can't do anything about right now. You're being tested spiritually, but, you know, it also is related to the shaman energy, which rules Taurus, and this is Mercury in Taurus. So news coming in fast, changes happening, being able to adapt to a new level of strength that it's going to have to take for you to achieve something. You know, also understanding that there is, you know, weakness and power. You have to show both of those things. There's a cute dog across. He's like a little Havanese, no, a Shih Tzu, right? And you have the 5, you know, cultivation right here. What are you building? What are you are aware of something that you need, that you want, that has to happen. You are aware of where you need to start working on things, because this is work, right? You know, in the moon position, it's like there have been some emotional evolutions, there's been some changes, there have been some hidden things that are surrounding work. There are some hidden things that are surrounding physical things, like physical body, where you're placement, because this is kind of like barren land, right? You see what I mean? And nobody wants to be settled here, so you're feeling a little bit unsettled, right? And that's what that wanting to make some changes is about, you know, the opportunity and the risk that it's involved in wanting to change your landscape, wanting to change your boundaries, or having changed your boundaries or your landscape, and understanding how you're going to be affected by that emotionally. But you're feeling like you've evolved past a certain point. Something is finished, something is completed, and I feel like you really want to heed the call. You want to acknowledge something that needs to change that hasn't changed yet. You know, and this is Taurus, so it's like you're almost kind of like you are relying on something that you've relied upon for a long time because it's comfortable for you, even though that thing has kind of like withered. You know what I mean? This is kind of like a drought. You were experiencing a drought, right? In work and finance. Some of you guys, or some of you are having an emotional experience, and you feel like you were feeling like there was a drought somewhere in your life that had to do with, you know, you establishing more foundations, or you establishing a new reality for yourself, and you're emotionally affected by not being able to make this change happen yet, because you feel like you are now aware of where you need to move on to, or what needs to fix, or what needs to be fixed, right? What are we remedying here? See? And it has to do with, you know, soul, family, you understanding that you are connected to your family, your ancestors, and you are paying back karma, right? We got the Saturn, right? By you doing well in life, you are paying back your ancestors. You're paying back those people that, you know, you are very like divinely connected to, and the people that you feel like you are owing like your success to, right? And it's the belief that one can do something, one can provide something. This is like knowing that you know that it should be better for you. I don't deserve this, right? What are you committed to? It's like something is institutionalized that is getting to the bone of the reason why you feel like you haven't been able to move forward, or get out of a situation that you've been in that just doesn't feel right for you. Something like that. Right? It has to do with your body. Maybe your body is being affected by it. Maybe you want to treat your body a little bit better. Maybe you want to be a little bit more nurturing to your body, because that's Taurus. You know, it's the understanding of some of the things that you're going to have to like commit to bring about more security. You're looking for more financial security. And if some of you are still doing well, that means that you want to be doing better so that you can go forward and do those bigger things that you always know you could do. And now you're in a position of being like, okay, I've done some of those things that I knew I could do. So now it's time to go from bigger things. And some of you are going to a place where you're starting over, or you feel like you're taking like a downgrade, or you're feeling like you're having to take a step back in terms of like, oh, I can't just get out and do what I want to do. I have to do this way. And yeah, because it is about boundaries when you're talking about those fives, right? And you feeling like being tested, right, by the harsh realities of life. Because life creates boundaries for you. It marginalizes things for you. But then it also teaches you that you also set boundaries for yourself at times when you don't really need to. And when you don't have to think of that, it being that way, like you're setting boundaries for yourself. You know what I mean? Sorry, Dunkin' Donuts. I do not promote them. I am not, you know, whatever. This is not an ad. Y'all know I'm a goblin. So yeah, what are you cultivating? What are you building for yourself? Let's get back to that word, the root. Cultivating. Cultivating. What have you been doing that everybody else has been doing that hasn't been working for you? What are you cultivating? Right? What have you been validating? What is valid for you that you believe in, that everybody else may not believe in? And where have you been feeling like an invalid? And what can you cultivate out of that feels like, you know, you are making life more of a valid experience for you? Right? I'm getting convoluted. You know, your experience has been feeling convoluted because you've been trying to like tap into this reality that actually is fake, that other people have been trying to make you believe is real. You know, and you kind of have been suffering there and actually having what you want. You know, some of you just want to get away and live life a little bit more simply, right? You still want to be able to be connected to all of everything, right? Because that's what this is talking about. Staying connected to everything, still having your network. You know what I mean? Here's the hosting coyote, the magician, understanding the awareness of what it is that you want to do, right? Because Mercury is a ruler of you, Gemini, exoterically, externally, and on the internal side, it's the ruler of Aries, which, you know, Mars, Aries, that's Eros, right? Mercury's father, so you're connected. Yeah. Let's look at your, oh, maybe that's not what that was. How to move the card. Okay, so in your anxieties, you have, like, it's the Eight of Wands. That's what was in your anxieties. I thought I pulled 2 cards in the past, but it's still related to that, because that's how I read it. This reading is, like, doing itself. In the past, you know, you're having anxieties about moving forward with something. Letting something go. Leaving something behind. Right, because this is Mercury and Sagittarius, or yeah, Mercury and Sagittarius, and Mercury moving forward. You know, Mercury is kind of like trying to stay very local, but Sagittarius is saying go beyond, go further. And this is kind of like messages going further. They're not just staying in this one place, they're going out. This is you getting your message out there. You are a Gemini, for sure. So what new message do you want to get out there, right? What messages are coming in to you that you feel like are giving you, you know, what it is that you desire? Are you getting what you desire, or do you have to go out and get what you desire? Do you have to leave something behind that you've had so that you can go out, right, and get what it is that you desire? Because the 8th house does have to do with getting, you know, desirable gains, right? In your Mars position, you got the 10 of Wands. So it's almost kind of like, you know, Mars is the aggressor. Mars is where, like, your impetus to do things comes from. And there, you know, There's some 8th house energy in here, which, you know, Scorpio rules the 8th house. You have Uranus as the Fool in here, which talks about shakeups and things happening suddenly. You have some fixed energy, you know, with this 5, this Shaman card. You have a little bit of everything here. But all of your minor cards are wands, right, which is fire, that's yang energy. And then your pentacle card, you have a couple of pentacle cards, earthy cards, which is feminine energy, okay? So the battle with the yang is that, you know, asserting yourself by heeding the call and letting some things go so that you can receive some things. Also, you know, you might be fooling yourself by thinking that everything is going to be okay if you just keep doing them the way that you have been doing them. It's talking about changing something, right? And this is Saturn in Sagittarius. And Sagittarius is talking about adapting to changes, shifts, right? Because right after that mutable season, then we get into that cardinal season that is talking about, I'm acknowledging that cardinal shift that we felt. And this is a cardinal planet and a fixed planet, you know, Saturn, in a mutable. So Saturn is telling you, you need to learn this lesson that you've come to the end of something. You know that you got to let something go, or let go a way that you have been doing things. And you have to just let go of, like, wanting to make yourself, or thinking that things are going to change on their own. You've got to assert yourself in a way. You've got to be aware of the risk and the opportunity. You've got to be aware of, like, how you are going to feel uncomfortable when you try to make this change and you try to let something go. Because something has been really trying you for a long time, and it's like, let it go, Henny, right? It's a responsibility that you have to yourself to let this thing go so that you can, like, really, like, give yourself back. Right? It's like, you're not fooling anyone but yourself. Right? And you know really the truth, because Saturn is really related to the truth as well, because she's exalted. Right? He is exalted in Libra. But this 10 is also related to Jupiter, and the situation got out of hand. It got bigger than you wanted it to get. The pressure, it mounted into something that was a lot bigger than you wanted it to become or be. And, you know, it's just talking about, you know, we wanted to adapt, make a change. You need to do that, whatever that is. Okay, in the Venus position, you got the Sun, so this is bringing some light to this reading. It's saying things are going to get better for you, right? It's the 1 and 9, okay? So, you know, you definitely are feeling more complete, right? It's something with a relationship. Could be a mom thing, mother thing. You're feeling complete with some feminine energy about the mother. I don't know why it's coming up, because this is a masculine energy, the Sun. You know, it's Leo. You might be dealing with a Leo. You yourself may have some Leo placements. Or you might just be dealing with that energy of pride, right? Within the family and the heart of the family, right? The heart of the family also has all of this pride. Something like that. You know, passing things down, you know, just that spiritual soul energy, like soul, you know, the Sun, that radiates, right? The family, the lineage, the genealogy, all of that, it radiates through you, right? You want a radiant relationship too. You want a relationship that you can be really proud of, that you can just, you know, not throw in people's faces, but you want to just, like, let shine on its own. You know what I mean? And Aries energy is depicted in this because the Sun is exalted there. Look at those little, like, Aries heads. You see them? Anyway, you know, this is a broadened view, a broad expansion, feeling more vital, feeling the vitality within oneself, you know, what shines from the inside out. Let yourself be yourself in your relationships, and you will get everything that you've always wanted and desired, and everything you deserve too. Right, you'll get that recognition that you deserve in that relationship, right? If you have to be yourself, because if you're trying to be someone else, right, that's why this mockery is here. You're fooling yourself. If you try to be something that you're not, or if you're being challenged or tested to be something that you're not, and you know the truth about a situation, then you're not going to get everything that was meant to come to you, right? So you got to really be yourself. Okay, so there's something with children, or there's something with messages, or there's something with learning some messages. You know, you're going to be learning through actions. You're going to be going into a new phase of doing something. It could be work. It could be not, it could be something that you're just going to be doing. It's a new way of, you know, living, of existing, of thriving for you. And you're going to be in the beginning stages of something. This probably has something to do with movement eventually in the future, right? You know, for you to become this new person that is you still, but it's like a new sense of self, right? And this Maiden of Pipes is a younger energy. She's having a younger experience because, you know, it's something new. Whenever you go into something new, then it's kind of like you're at the beginning stages of something, right? So she has something to learn, but she's gotten far enough to where like she can place herself in this position to get more out of life. And that's what I mean by saying that you have gone through some tests, you've gone through, you know, proving some things to yourself. She's proved some things to herself and other people, and now she's enthusiastic about creating other things, other aspects of herself, you know, more enriched, more matured versions of itself. So that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to like really cultivate something new. Newfound glory. 3, joint effort. You know what I mean? It's like you definitely understand like life's gifts that it gives to you and what you do with those gifts and how those gifts can actually be multiplied, because life's gifts can be multiplied. Thank you. Joint effort, right? Joint effort between you and spirit. That 3 related to Venus, which is also related to the High Priestess, right? Because Venus, that stream that flows to her, the Empress is coming from the High Priestess, right? There's some divine feminine energy in this. This is ready to receive some good things, right? By way of achievement, by way of doing something in order to get something out of it, you know? It definitely is talking about the 3rd house and being aware of something, you know, communicating what it is that your needs are, what you desire, right? Computing, whatever that has to do. You're kind of understanding something. This is information that you're kind of like processing in your head and your mind actively, and you're understanding what it is that you have to do to get what it is that you want and what you desire, right? And this has to do with like shaking things up and making this change that you probably already made, or one that you're thinking about making. That might have to do with movement. It might have to do with travel. It might have to do with how you're expanding yourself, so being in more than one place at one time. You know what I mean? That type of thing, right? Because you're trying to pollinate your life. You're trying to bring more growth to your life by way of pollinating, cultivating, you know, doing that type of thing, right? Busy bee, butterflies, right? But it's not really a bee. You're building, you're cultivating. It's a spider. Very intelligent way of thinking, right? A web, stability, but also something that is very, it's risky because that thing is delicate as well. Right, you're making a risky choice to do something that's going to have a delicate texture to it. You're feeling delicate yourself, you know, emotionally. Your emotions might be very delicate at this point. You know, they react very easily and very quickly and very harshly to things. So you have to be soft, you have to be easy, you have to be meticulous as well. You know, it's like you're being soft and you're being meticulous is going to create that strength. It's very slow moving strength that's coming in, okay? You're strengthening yourself as you go, and you end at the end of the reading. You have the 4 of Swords. So this is kind of like you understanding what it is that it's going to take. You know, you're taking a risk and stepping back. You taking a risk and stepping back to create more, to bring your, so you just want things to be a little bit more clear to you of what is going on in your life, so that you can actually really start to feel the growth of your life. You know, you're putting those pieces together, you're creating those channels, you're creating those platforms for yourself. In order to do all of those things that you want to do now, that you've gone through so much and you've experienced something, you need to take a rest. You need to have a resting point for inspiration. You need to try to take in all of the divine inspiration that you can at this point, right? This is great because the sun is in your season, right, in your sign right now. And this 4 has to also do with the 4th house, which is Gemini, which is Cancer season. You know, Cancer rules the 4th house, and this is Jupiter in Libra, right? a fellow cardinal sign, right? So I feel like during that time of Mercury, your planetary ruler, being retrograde in Cancer, there are these birds flying overhead, that you're going to experience something that is going to bring more clarity to you in your mind and in your head. The birds are flying over my head, right? It's so crazy. And you're gonna have a little bit more perspective, and it's gonna build over time, you know, because Saturn is exalted in Libra, so that energy is still available to you. If you see a very bright star in the sky tonight that looks like a plane just sitting there, it's very bright. It's going to be Jupiter. And then if you look to maybe the left of them, just a little bit over to the left of it, you'll see Saturn. It's going to be a little bit further away and look smaller. But yeah, you're definitely gaining more mental clarity. You're starting to focus, and you're starting to assert yourself so that you can see, you know, where it is that you need to assert yourself when you come out of this mode of hibernation, out of this mode of, you know, recalibrating, recomputing. It's like a hard reset, you know what I mean? That type of thing. Okay, Gemini, that's going to be the name of your reading, Hard Reset. And I really wish you all a happy birthday. I can't even believe I got this whole reading done out here in Florida with the trees and the ducks in the back. Okay, I love you guys. Please comment on the video. Definitely reach out to me to get a reading. Clients have been reaching out now. It's that season, you know what I mean? I appreciate all of it. I appreciate the donations. I'll leave some information in the description box if you would like to donate to the channel. Follow me on Instagram, NYC Kendrick. I'm also Kendrick NYC, The Tongue Pop, which is my food blog, right? I do like small events and small dinners and things like that. Catering in New York, catering in New York. And also, definitely follow Providence Tarot. That's what we're doing here, right? If you'd like to